Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the Guido, and I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for checking out the YouTube page today. Welcome in. If you have been around the page any, you know that one of the things that we like to do are interviews with a GTA roleplay server that we're in called the Academy. And really the idea behind that is to just kind of meet people that are playing characters in the city, but meet them in real life. And so essentially we're pulling people out of the city and bringing them on and getting to know who they are, what they do, what they're about, what life is like, kind of hear their story, how they got involved inside of the Academy community. And it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love doing it. Especially this conversation that you're about to watch in just a few minutes with MotherFluffer. Now, MotherFluffer is a legend. He's an icon inside of the Academy, and he's a really cool dude too. And so we got an opportunity to sit down, talk about all things IRL. We talked about the Academy, and we talked about his new friend Bessie. You're just gonna have to watch it to check it out. Matter of fact, I should have wore that cow hat that's like right there. I should have wore that. It would have been totally appropriate. It's a missed opportunity at this point, but nonetheless, it was a really great conversation. I know that you're going to love it as much as I did. Before we get to it, though, if you're interested in GTA RP, maybe you're interested in being a part of a community, man, I want to encourage you to check out the Academy. There's a link. I just popped it up right here on the screen. It'll also be in the description of this video as well. Go check it out, man. Find out more information about what the community is, what it stands for, what it's all about. And man, we would love to have you if it's something that you're interested in being a part of. Okay? Well, guys, thank you again so much for being here. If you haven't already done so, would you hit the thumbs up button? Let me know what you think about the video. Leave a comment. Ask a question. Let me know what you thought about the questions and the conversation that we had. And you could also hit the subscribe button if you'd like to do that as well. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay? Enjoy the video, guys. Yo, what up, brother?
What up, man?
How you doing?
I'm making it, brother. I'm making it.
We made it. We
Yeah.
finally got here.
Yeah, finally, man. It's been a long time coming.
It has been a long time coming, and I was telling the chat right before we jumped on how your community has been screaming at me for some time now. Why hasn't Fluff gotten an interview? Fluff needs to get an interview. Where's Mason's interview?
Man. They give me a lot of flack in my chat over any little things, and I'm not even the least bit surprised.
Yeah, no. So man, you were this would definitely had to happen. But in all honesty, man, I'm honored and I appreciate so much you jumping in here and hanging out with us a little bit. I remember when I first started in the community. I think I said this the other night when I was talking about this interview. When I first started, I was watching Officer Messer's stream, and you know, when I got in, man, I was so stuck. And so like I watched every stream, even if it wasn't live, I'd go back, I'd watch every stream, and I still do that. Every stream from beginning to end. And I always remember him talking about MotherFluffer. Thank you, MotherFluffer. Hey, I appreciate you, MotherFluffer. And I thought even then, that's a dope name right there. MotherFluffer is a dope name. And so
yeah.
So you are, in my opinion, you are a TARP legend icon, and so I appreciate you jumping on with me.
Yeah, man. The name MotherFluffer actually came from somebody who failed at an insult, and you can kind of guess where the insult was going. And I was like, you know what? I like that, and I rolled with it. So.
You turned that whole thing around. You're like, hey, what you meant for bad, I'm going to use for
too.
good.
It has stuck.
Yeah, no, I like it. I love it. I think it's a good name, and so anyway, nonetheless, man, thank you so much for jumping in. Well, hey, here's what I want us to do. Let's start with just some personal introduction. So obviously, you are a streamer. Obviously, you are a well-known inside of our community. I know that a lot of people know you, but we talked about this. This is a different side. This is a different kind of a thing. So, man, I want to open the floor up, and you just kind of introduce yourself, say what you want to say, and then we'll go from there.
Name's Alex Mason. Born and raised Central Alabama. Been here my whole life. I was raised in a law enforcement household. My dad was an officer, and then I started my first job. It was surrounding law enforcement. So, I mean, it kind of come natural to be attracted to this type of stuff. And I signed up to be a volunteer firefighter with my local community.
Okay.
Been doing that for about 7, 8 years, something like that. I mean, I do that, and then IRL. I work as an equipment operator, so operating backhoes, excavators, bulldozers, stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, most of the time, I'm either at work or I'm doing TARP stuff. So this pretty much engulfs my entire life. So not a whole lot to me, really.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I think what you just said is a lot to unpack. So you and I have that in common. We both grew up in law enforcement homes.
Yeah.
My dad was also a police officer, so that's a cool connection. And I can't speak for you, but that's part of my connection to TARP
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Same thing for me.
is just my affinity for that and growing up in that and wanting to support law enforcement. And so because of what the community is, that connects me to it.
Hmm.
So we have that, I think, in common. The other thing I will ask about, so you're in Alabama, so there's
Yeah.
only one question here: are you a war eagle or are you a roll tide?
Man, I'm about to get shunned by my own state, but I'm gonna go dogs.
Go dogs! Hey,
Yes, sir.
I'm not mad about that. Well,
Yeah, man. I made the switch, but bro, if you live in Alabama, the whole environment around college football gets so toxic, man. And I'm just not
yes,
one for toxicity. So just to kind of flip the script, if I ever even watch it, I'm not big into football anyway.
yeah.
But just to kind of flip the script, man, I just went for Georgia just to make people mad. But realistically, I don't care, honestly.
I got you. I got you. I like so we used to live in LaGrange, Georgia, and we were really close. We were about an hour. We were about an hour or so away from Auburn, and so I am a Gamecock fan, right? So I'm in South Carolina. I'm a Gamecock fan, but when I was there, man, Auburn fans drove me crazy. And so I
Man,
automatically leaned into like I was like, yo, I'm going to support the Roll Tide just because uh,
well, I mean,
Auburn's
it
always
goes
good.
both ways,
It
brother.
is.
Honestly, it goes both ways. What really turned me away from Alabama as a community of fans is when they poisoned the Tumors Corner trees.
Yes, I
I
remember
said
that.
that's taking it too far, and I just didn't want to be associated with it. So I didn't like Auburn either, so I just went with Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. I like it. Where I am, even where I live in South Carolina, being a Gamecock fan is a minority. There are tons of Bulldog fans, and now that
Hmm.
they're doing great, everybody's a Bulldog fan. So
Yep, hopping on the bandwagon.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's the way it rolls.
Yeah,
All right. So the other thing I wanted to follow up with is, so you drive big equipment.
yeah, yeah. I have a
That's
Class
dope.
B CDL, drive a dump truck. I signed on for the job to be an equipment operator, and I wound up being a truck driver because that seems like the only thing I ever do. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, it looks cool and like when you're looking at them going down the road, but it's not that fun. I promise you.
Yeah. Now, are you having to make like long hauls, like all over the country, or you kind of stay
Mm,
local?
nah, the furthest I've went is about an hour and a half away from
Okay.
where I'm working at. So it's just to go get materials that we're working with. So it's
Yeah.
nothing like serious, but still, man, it will do numbers on your back. I
Yeah.
promise.
I bet.
Them trucks do not ride good.
Are you finding yourself waiting in like long load lines and all that kind of stuff?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super frustrating.
I've got a
Very.
buddy of mine. He drives cross country, and um, he's all the time talking about just sitting in line for his hours and hours and hours. So
Yeah, and it's worse for the people who do like refrigerated stuff and all that, who do that cross country, man. It's worse for them. And I get irritated at the little bit that I got to do. So
yeah,
I can't even imagine what they go through.
yeah, okay. Um, so all right, so let me ask this. I know that you said you work and you stream and you do tarp stuff, but like let's just say you had some extra time. Let's just pretend for a minute you had just an ounce of time. You couldn't do any of those things. What are you going to do? Where are you spending that time?
I'll hit up any friends that I've got left and see what they're doing and if they want to hang out, if they still like me.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, all right, cool, man.
That's about it.
All right, very good. Well, I think that's. I have found that when the older I got, the more that I like to just stay home. So I am. I'm just a at home kind of a dude.
Yeah, the pandemic really set that in for me. I was at home before the pandemic, and the pandemic said stay there, and I was like, no, I'm fine with that. So pretty much.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. All right, so let me just run a couple of things by you here. I think these are important questions that we need to answer, just to kind of gauge, the kind of person that you are. The first question I think is really important. Are you a pineapple on pizza kind of guy?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely not.
So you're an anti pineapple on pizza guy.
I will stand on that hill as long as I have to.
Okay. All right. Have you ever tried it?
I did, and I mean, initially I was like, this ain't that bad, and then I tried it again, and I'm like, this ain't it. This ain't it.
Okay. All right. At least you tried it.
Yeah,
At least
I did
you
try
tried
it.
it.
I did try it.
Now, are you aware that the official TARP stance is that pineapple belongs on pizza? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I'm aware of it, but I don't support it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Hey,
I'm aware.
As long as you know. As long as you know.
Yeah, I'm aware.
All right. So here's another question that I have to ask you: is are you a number one? This question will determine the next one. Are you a coffee drinker? Do you like coffee?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What's your coffee spot? Like, what's your go-to get coffee spot?
Well, I live in a small town in central Alabama, and we just recently got a coffee shop, and it's the only one.
Okay.
But it's a Scooters coffee. It's a chain across. I think it's across the southern states, but the one in Alex City, where I live, is the only one in the entire state of Alabama. So, but
Okay.
amongst the popular ones, I prefer Starbucks over Dunkin'.
Okay. All right. I like both. I think I have preferred Dunkin' maybe more, but I like both. I'm not against either one of them. But I'm also just a plain coffee drinker. I'm not a frou-frou frappalappes.
No, yeah, that's me. That's me all day.
That's your jam.
That's my
I do
jam.
think Starbucks is the way to go then.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I went to Dunkin' on the way back from that West Virginia trip for Operation Ice Cream. Trav and I stopped by Dunkin', and I tried pumpkin spice to kind of get in on the hype, and it disgusting, absolutely disgusting.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't know what to order from Dunkin', so I just stick with Starbucks.
I got you. All right. Yeah, I think to me, because I'm just a coffee drinker, I just want just plain coffee. Either one is fine, but I do think that frou-frou drinks are better at Starbucks. I mean, Starbucks is what I meant. Pumpkins. My opinion on pumpkin spice is, I mean, I'm with you. It's not a.
It ain't for me, brother. It ain't for me.
Yeah, it's not a jam for me. If somebody brought it and they gave it to me, I would drink it, but it's not the jam for me. All right, so here's the last question that I think is really, really important. You're going to get donuts with your coffee. Where are you getting those from?
Well, probably Dunkin', because I do like their donuts. I just don't like their coffee.
Okay. All right.
So I would have to go all over the place if we had it.
All right. So you would go from Starbucks with your coffee over to Dunkin' to get your donuts. Okay.
Yeah, if I had to have that combination, probably I'll just stop at the coffee, if I'm being honest.
Over Krispy Kreme?
You have a good point. But I'm amongst like the small population in the country who has not been able to catch Krispy Kreme while they're hot and ready.
Oh, wow.
No matter what. Like, there's not one near me. So if I ever go to like Auburn or anything, I can never catch it hot and ready. So, I mean, I can't really add that to my list because I haven't got the full experience.
You need to put this. I don't know if you're a bucket list kind of guy. If you're not, it needs to be on a must-do list. Hot now donuts from Krispy Kreme have to be done at least once.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Every time I go near one, I'm like, "Is the light on? Is the light? I don't care where we got to be. Is the light on?"
Yeah. No, it's
never can.
Somebody just said in the chat they have a Hot Now app. That's what you need, bro, is a hot now app.
Yeah, but hot now, by the time I get there, it's not going to be hot anymore.
That's true. That's
So,
true. That is
not
true.
going to
I
do me
got
many
you.
favors.
I got you, man. All right. Well, very cool. Well, let's. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to ask you, and that was this. So, obviously, we play a video game. That's kind of how we got here. That's what this. That is an entry level to this community is a video game.
Hmm.
Um, are you a gamer? Like, is gaming your thing, or is you playing this? Being a part of this just kind of a random thing that just happened.
No, I was a gamer growing up. Now, before I found roleplay, my gaming taste was very expansive. I
Okay.
would try most any game, but after I found this, man, this is all I've done for like a year and a half when I
Okay.
found it.
Yeah.
So I do play other games. I'm like big into Assassin's Creed. Like I really love that game
Okay.
series. I do like some sports games like Madden. I play Madden
Yeah.
in college. I'm not good at it, but I like it. So, I mean, I'm into other things, mostly story-based games is what I really enjoy, but
Okay.
it's just RP for now.
Okay. Or have you always been a PC guy?
No, I used to be PlayStation primarily. I mean, I would dabble
My
into the
guy.
Xbox and stuff, but mostly PlayStation. And then I got on TikTok and found out the wonderful world of PCs, and I had to have it.
Yeah.
So I saved up, got a PC, sold that one, got a better PC, and then started streaming again, and it just went from there.
Okay. All right. Dope. Um, Another thing that I know about you, and I'll primarily because, and we'll talk about this a little bit more here shortly, but um, primarily is because you lead the stream team. I like the stream team. I know that's not the official name, but I'm still pushing it.
Might as well
But
be.
you lead the stream team for TARP, and you also, in addition to that, are a tremendous resource for technology, just like stream things, stream equipment. Oftentimes somebody will ask about something. Have you heard about this? You've heard about it, you know about it, you've got an article about it, you've
Yep.
got some input about reviews that you've heard about it. So, like, where does that come from? Like that knowledge of technology and that kind of stuff.
Well, I've always been the type of when I commit to something, like I get like really into it, I do just endless amounts of research for absolutely no reason. And it just streaming and the gear that surrounds streaming to make it look good and appear good has just always been interesting to me. So, I mean, I stay on YouTube watching the stream, watching the people who cover that. I stay on there to see if any new tech has come out, what
Yeah,
they think about it, if it's any good compared to this piece of tech. And then I've really enjoyed applying that knowledge to the people who don't know as much to
yeah,
kind of help them improve. So, I mean, it's become a hobby in itself
yeah.
of the things surrounding streaming. And I mean, I'm glad it's been useful for sure. I
Okay.
really am.
All right, so I'm gonna this is just a quick just because I happened to come across this information the other day. I'm sure you already have it, but Elgato has a brand new XLR microphone. What have
Yep.
you heard about it?
I've already watched like 3 videos on it. And coincidentally, now that you even bring that up, I was just in a VC before I got up with you, and there was another member of TARP who was asking about it. And I mean, compared to mics like this $400 mic right here, I mean, it holds up pretty good.
Yeah,
So for the money that it costs and how well it sounds, I mean, I'd recommend it.
yeah, yeah. It seemed from what I saw, it seemed like for the price point. I mean, was it $99, something like that?
Yeah, it's $100, and then you'd
Yeah,
have to pair it. If you paired it with their system, their XLR system, you'd be looking at about like 250 total to
yeah,
get a really good audio system. And the software from Elgato is just phenomenal. It's
yeah.
got sub mixes and all that. It's really good.
I use a lot of Elgato stuff. I have their lighting, and then I have a microphone. My microphone is their Wave mic, their USB plug-in. It's the
Yep.
USB plug-in mic, and then I have their webcam as well, and then of course the Stream Deck stuff. So
No, yeah. Elgato is the go-to for streaming gear. I mean,
yeah,
they are pricey, but it's worth the money you spend. Like
yeah,
they don't cheap out on quality.
yeah. No, I've been very happy with it, and it is always it's a little bit more money, but I've always loved everything I've ever got from them. I've always been really, really happy with it.
Yeah, and all the new people that come into the streaming program, the stream team, if anybody's new to streaming altogether, I will recommend to build your following and get a base going, and then invest in your stream.
Yeah.
Because the more you invest, the more you'll grow, and it's a good investment to have. And if streaming don't work out, you got a lot of gear that's still worth a good bit of money. So it's definitely worth the investment.
Yeah, no, I think so. That's some good advice. And like you said, it is an addictive thing, because you find out something, or you're like, man, I really want to upgrade this, or I want to tweak something here and there, and you just kind of get into a path of you hear about this, you hear about this, you hear about this, and you just kind of get into it. So it's it is an endless treasure hunt.
Yeah, you got to know when to stop. Like when your streams achieve max quality that you can feasibly reach, just stop while you can.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true.
You will dive into debt if you don't.
No, that is absolutely true. So, and I want to talk more about streaming, and streaming particularly on TARP here in just a minute. But speaking of TARP, speaking of the community that we are a part of, man, let's kind of get into your story of how you got connected. Like I said, you are a name that I have heard from the very beginning days of watching Officer Messer stream. So, man, talk about that. How did you get connected to the community, bro?
Same thing as everybody else, man. I found Tony on TikTok. And I mean, I was already kind of into the RP scene and everything because I was on a previous server. And I mean, we had a good time, but it just wasn't my thing. So I was on TikTok. I found Tony's live, started watching. I was like, hey, this guy seems pretty cool. So I went and checked out his Twitch. And it snowballed from there, man. I applied for the server. I got in. I didn't really do a whole lot my first month because I was new to ES6. I always played like 5PD.
Okay.
Which is a different base of FiveM. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was nervous. I mean, I got robbed my first time interacting with anybody. Like, he literally said, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. And he said, okay, well, I'm robbing you. And I'm like, okay, I'm not good no more.
Do you know who it was?
I don't. I have no clue.
So you don't know who it was.
He felt bad, though. I said, man, I don't even know what to tell you right now. And he felt bad for robbing me. He revived. At the time, we had a medical script that anybody could use. So anybody could revive anybody.
Yeah.
He revived me, gave me $3,000 and a ride back to my truck. And I went on about my way. And I quit playing in here for a little bit, and then I came back full time. And I got hooked up with Willard. Willard really convinced me to come over here full time. And I got hooked up with Willard. He got me into the BCSO, and man, it went from there, man. Okay. It just I told Willard from the jump. I said, look, man, I really enjoy flying. Like, I've been playing GTA since it come out. I really enjoy flying. Whenever you have an opening for Air Wing, let me know. And I kind of built a reputation off of my Air Wing stuff, and it went from there.
Okay. Now, do you agree? Because I have heard it said, and I have to ask if you agree, that you are the best pilot inside of the server. You agree with that?
I'm pretty good. Like, I'm willing. I'm not too humble to admit that I'm pretty good, but I'm not. Okay. I'm really gonna own the title of best. Like, there's another guy who's in the server. I've flown with him, and I know he's just as good. Now, if anybody wants to put that to a challenge, I'm willing to defend my skills, but I'm not going to say I'm the best. Everybody else will argue that fact with me, but I'm not going to say I'm the best.
Yeah, I think it would be fitting to test that somehow, some way. We'd have to figure out the RP side of that and how we can fit that into our system, but I think that would be a challenge that is worthy of having, to just officially declare this is the best pilot we have in the city.
Man, but if we did that, I'm probably going to lose or like mess up, and then I can't ride that high no more, you know?
I got you. So, no, I'm with you. I feel that, man. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I understand that. You got to kind of take what you're given, and
Yeah, man.
yeah, you don't
You
want to
got to
you don't want to
roll with
risk
it.
it.
Don't
I'm
want to
with you.
ruin it.
No, I don't blame you for that, man. I think that is I think that is a very safe way to navigate through that.
Yeah,
I like the air part of that as well.
it's a
And
lot
I
of
think
fun.
it is a lot of fun, and it's a unique way really to see the city, and it's a unique way to interact. But it does take a lot of practice to be able to navigate. And I've seen you fly the helicopter, and you handle it very smoothly. So you do a really good job of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing it, like I said, since GTA came out, and I always stayed in the air versus on the ground. But in GTA Online, and it just went. I kept practicing and practicing and practicing. So it
Okay.
helped. It
Yeah.
helped.
No, absolutely. Now, are you as good of a driver as you
No,
are a pilot?
absolutely not. I've gotten better. I've gotten better, but I know absolutely not. I will wreck so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I'm not good at either. So you've got me in either category, either driving or flying, walking. You got me either way. I'm not. I'm
Come on
really
now.
not good at any of it.
Come on now. It can't be that bad. Come
Yeah,
on now.
I'm not good at any of those things. I'm basically good at sitting in the car and talking to folks. So that's about.
I mean, that's a lot of what we do as streamers anyway. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so you got into the city, you got connected, you started streaming, or you started getting into the BCSO stuff, and you've been with BCSO, and then I think you transferred for a little bit to LSPD, and then you transferred back to BCSO.
I did. Yep.
So, and you've had several different perspectives. What do you like about the Leo characters of inside the community? Like, what do you like about that part of our community, the Leo side?
It's a lot of fun. They take it really seriously as much as they can. Of course, I mean we are confined to a game, but I just like the family feel of it. And everybody says Tart's one big family, but when you get into the Leo stuff, everybody really is out there for one another,
Yeah.
and you've got each other's back no matter what department you're in. Of course, I mean we have our little jokes. Which department is best, and BCSO is the best anyway.
Okay.
But it's the whole family feel. It's just no matter what, you've got a friend because you're in the law enforcement side of things. So I really enjoy that.
Yeah, and I like it too. Even so, in-game stuff, yes, but even out of the game, I'm sure BCSO. I have only ever been in LSPD, but I'm sure BCSO has communication similar set up like that, and just that kind of communication back and forth is enjoyable too. Just hey guys, what's up? How your day? How's everything going? Uh, our deputy chief is in Florida, and he just went through the storm, the Ian that just
Yeah.
came through, and so just everybody checking in on him. It's a brotherhood. It's a community within itself.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, being in both LSPD and BCSO, LSPD is full of really good people, and we all talked and cut up and had a good time. But like BCSO, man, like we know each other on a personal level. Like we
Yeah.
talk every single day in the chats. We cut up, we have fun, we talk, and then a lot of times you'll catch us in a VC down there in BCSO all day, just sitting there talking.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that it's better compared to any of the other one, but BCSO takes that very seriously, man. Like they
Sure.
really are connected.
Yeah, that's good. And I think that's part of the draw for that side of that too. Is it is a brotherhood. It is a connection.
Hmm.
Brotherhood, sisterhood, however you want to however you want to see that. It's community within itself.
Yeah.
So you have Leo side now. Crim, like, do you have Crim characters that you like to run, that you like to get wild with?
Yeah, man. Matthias Baker. He's not a very well known crim in the city. I mean, he did do some gang stuff, but I mean, crim is okay and it's fun and everything. It's just not what I do on the regular. So everybody loves my crim streams whenever I decide to do them,
Yeah,
but it's just crim doesn't come as naturally as Leo, so I don't really do it often. So I have it, but I'm not really big into it.
yeah, I got you. Okay, so here's the thing that I like, and you and I talked about this a little bit, was for you specifically, you play a lot of roles. So you get into the community, you get connected, and you just kind of start filling roles within the community and playing different parts that make the community run. Not just things that are seen, but a lot of unseen things as well. So, can you kind of talk about that for a minute? Like, here, what all are you involved in, man? What kind of stuff do you do inside of the community?
I'm a part of the administration team. So, I mean, that just it's pretty self-explanatory. I focus on the media side of things. So, streamers, content being produced, content produced that's not approved, we have to keep an eye out for. Mainly the media side of the administration is what I focus on. But I mean, I do dabble in the other things whenever I need to. I have messed around with some development. I am on the dev team with a little bit of graphic design. The BCSO liveries, not the ones we have now, but the ones beforehand, that was all my design. So I'd put those together, and then the helicopter liveries that we currently have, excluding the SAFR, are what I did. So I've messed around with some development. Everything I learned was taught by Trav. He's a phenomenal person and really good asset for knowledge. But I did that, and then just BCSO. I'm not really high up on command, but I do play a part in it.
Yeah.
So I kind of help oversee that as much as I can. So
Okay. All right.
I do that, and then I'm in the chats pretty often. So
Yeah. So because of that, and I want to dive into those a little bit deeper. But because of that, you have a lot of interaction with a lot of different people inside of our community. Is that fair to say?
yeah, I've pretty much interacted with just about everybody. Not everybody, of course, naturally,
Okay.
but
All
a
right.
good bit.
So with that being said, I thought you and I would play a game. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the game that I want us to play, and chat could play too if they want. I think we open it up to them if they want to play as well. But really, it's your game to play, and the game is simply this. I'm gonna ask the question in TARP. The person that is most likely to, and then I'll ask a question, and then you answer with, out of all the vast knowledge that you have of people that are in our community, who you think is most likely to fit into that category. Okay?
Okay.
You ready? You excited?
I'm about to call a lot of people out, I think.
Yeah, no, call them out, because I think not only will we're getting to know you, but I think you're going to give us some insight to a whole lot of other people as well. All right?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
So here we go. We'll start with this one. And these are just kind of random questions. Honestly, I found a list on the internet. And so I'm going by this list is what I've got. So we'll start with this one. Number 1, in TARP, who is most likely to cry at a kid's movie?
To cry at a kid's movie?
Yeah, in TARP, who is most likely to be watching a kid's movie and start crying?
Ashley.
Okay. All right. Ashley. Hands down, you didn't even have to think about that. Like, you just.
No.
Okay.
No. Ashley.
Now, have you ever, has she told you before that she's going to cry in a kid's movie before?
No, I get it. I have a very strong suspicion that she would.
Okay. All right.
Just because I know her.
All right. So Ashley, it is. A lot of people in the chat right now are saying Messer. Maybe. It could be maybe Messer too. I
could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, maybe so.
I could see that.
All right, here we go. Here's another one. In TARP, who is most likely to become a famous actor or actress? Who is most likely in all of our community to become a famous actor or famous actress?
Probably Hammer. Like, with the amount of characters that he can do and do so well.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be some acting in that. So I would say Hammer.
I think that's a great answer. I agree with that. I think that's a really good answer, because he does have a lot of
and he plays it so well.
He does,
like,
just so good. So all right, that was good. All right. In TARP, Who is most likely to buy an electric car?
An electric car?
Yeah, in TARP, who is most likely to buy an electric car?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I did, but
Okay, all right. So is you?
it just depends on which one. I mean, it varies.
Okay.
But for the sake of it being electric and like eco-friendly,
Like, is there anybody that's super conscious about that kind of stuff? That's real aware of, like.
mm, I would probably Ryan. Ryan.
Okay.
He fits the bill.
All right. All right. We know it's not Evans because unless they make a electric Crown Vic, he definitely is not going to be.
Yeah, no.
In
If
that
it were,
one.
yeah, if you said anything about Crown Vic, it's either Evans or Arbuckle, 100%.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. This is a good question. In TARP, who is most likely to end up having a career in politics?
Politics, Hunter Brown,
Okay.
because he fills the role of judge super well,
Yeah.
and he is very well spoken.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Hunter Brown.
Okay. All right. I like that answer. Um, in TARP, who is most likely to join the Secret Service?
I'd say Denny.
That's a great answer.
I'd say Denny.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
thinking Steven.
I could see him. I could see him doing that. Steven is a really good answer too. Steven's
Yeah.
really good, but Denny kind of runs the Marshal Service as it is,
Yeah.
and he does it so well. Like I would definitely go with Denny.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's a really great answer. Okay. In TARP, who is most likely to become a millionaire?
A millionaire? If he's in here, it's gonna be Mac Shaw, and he's
Okay.
not gonna do it legally. I'll tell you that. But it would be Mac Shaw. That dude grinds crack so much. He spent hours upon hours making crack. And that dude, he honestly he made over $1 million in crack. And with that level of dedication, I could see him doing it IRL.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I was thinking maybe, and this would double dip a little bit, but if you're thinking of characters, I would think Wang just by his car wash business alone.
Yeah, scamming people. Yeah. Scam me out of $3,000 to wash a helicopter. Didn't even wash it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've lost a couple thousand to him as well.
Yep.
All right. In TARP, who is most likely to have just a lot of kids, just tons of children?
I don't know on that one, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I really can't pin that one on anybody.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's try this one then. In TARP, I know we have people that live out of the country, but who is most likely to move from their current location to another country?
Shay.
Okay.
Yeah, Shay.
All right.
I could see her doing that 100%.
Okay. All right. Shay's out. Yeah, even the chat's saying Shay. Okay. Who is most likely in TARP? Who is most likely to travel the world?
Also Shay.
Okay.
Like she and I are really pretty close, and she's always talked about how she just wants to travel. So Shay.
Okay. All right. All right. In TARP, who is most likely to become internet famous?
Well, I mean Tony, obviously.
Okay. All
And
right.
then Smitty's doing really good too. So
Okay.
Tony and Smitty.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I got one more for you. Choo. Here we go. Here's one. Ready? Last one. In TARP, who is most likely to start a successful band?
Band?
Yeah. Who's going to start a successful band
Hammer.
in TARP? Hammer?
Hammer. Yep. As long as it's in the Wang voice, it's Hammer.
Okay. Is he musical at all? Do we know that?
Have you not heard him sing,
I
man?
don't know that I have.
Man, it's a sight. I'm telling you.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. I did hear. I was at the concert that he did uh, in TARP the one night
Hmm.
that he was on Messer Stream. So I did hear him sing that night.
Yep, I would have to go with Hammer.
Okay, all right. So there we go. I like that. That was pretty good. So that is your knowledge of TARP, and we have, essentially it helps us to identify just some more about different people in the community.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
No, I enjoyed it.
All right. Hey, let's get back to this. I want to get back to what we were talking about a second ago, and we were talking about the different roles that you play inside of the community.
Mhm.
So one of the big things that you do is you obviously lead the stream team, and you're lead that charge as far as the oversight and direction of what that team is. Kind of talk about that a little bit. And what I'd even would like for you to do is maybe there's somebody that's like, I want to stream for TARP. What is that like? You're the guy. You're going to be able to set the tone. What does that look like?
Well, I'm fortunate enough to get to work alongside Cuff'em and Daddy Yum Yums. They're really phenomenal people to work with as far as the media team goes. So we talk about a lot of things, and as far as becoming a streamer, with the mission and the message that TARP represents, we strive especially hard to make sure that it's not misrepresented. So becoming a streamer for TARP is not exactly an easy process.
Yeah.
There's a pretty lengthy application that was just developed, and it's not guaranteed to get you a streaming spot. There's a message we have to hold the integrity to. So if you make it through that process and you get brought onto the team, you'll get onboarded. There's another process for onboarding to make sure that you've got everything set up and you're ready to stream. That way you're not out there looking like you don't know what you're doing. And then you get introduced to the team, and it's just we all work well together. I would say
Yeah.
Smitty, Ajax, everybody, they're all really communicative people. Dilly, he just joined on the team, and he's been a phenomenal team player. But as far as overseeing the streamers and everything, I mean, to be honest with you, as much talent as we have, it's really not that hard of a job. You know, um, I mean, I'm in everybody's chats as much as I can be, of course, to kind of make sure everything's going well. Watch on what's going on in their stream. With me being administration, if something's going on, I can handle it.
Sure.
So, but I mean, other than that, man, we try to give each other good coaching advice on how to kind of grow. Smitty has been a wonderful asset as far as what he's been doing to help him grow and gain some traction. Tony's messaged me privately, and like we all work really well together. So, I mean, they make it super easy, man. They really do. I
Yeah.
mean, all of y'all do. So,
Um, and I like, and being a part of that team, what I like is I like the bouncing of ideas, bouncing of information. Hey, why don't you try this? Or hey, there's what we talked about a second ago. There's this new piece of equipment, or somebody says, hey, what do you know about XYZ? And then people chime in and say, one of the things that comes up a lot is how do you post, or has come up before, is how do you post clips on TikTok? Well,
mhm.
there's 30 ways to do that. And so then everybody's like, yo, I do this. And one person's like, I do this and I do this. And it's a resource because then you can take that information and decide, okay, well, this works best for me, and so you can take that. And so it is iron sharpening iron. It's
Yep.
working together to make each other better. And and each streamer obviously has to do their individual thing. They have to do
Yeah,
their
yeah. I
their
mean, you got to build
thing.
your own community.
Yeah, you have to do the work part of that. But I will say the in the stream team is probably one of the best as far as streaming goes. Being a part of the Academy stream team is one of the best things I've ever had the opportunity to do. And it is an opportunity. It is
Yeah, it really is.
it is a gift because there is buy-in to the community, there is support for the community, and then you get thrown into that and you automatically get all of that support and all of that buy-in because you get the stamp that says, this guy is going to represent us, or this woman, this lady, these people are going to represent us. And that is why it's such a guarded, and I don't mean to speak for you, but that is why it's such a guarded position, because it is a representation of brand, it's a representation of message, and that's why it's so important to protect that role so tightly and have such a watchful eye on it.
Yeah, we do take it pretty seriously. Of course, we've had to break a few hearts. Somebody was really wanting to stream, but we got to make sure they're in it for the right reasons, and they're not wanting to just kind of grow a platform for their own gain. They're wanting to spread the message of Bridge the Gap, further show how important it is, and make sure that they're wanting to do it for that reason.
Yeah.
So, it can be frustrating if you're trying to get in, but if you can get in, and if you do, it's well worth it. I feel it's well worth it.
So let me ask this: what's some advice you would give? So somebody is like, it's something I might be interested in at some point. I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. I'm willing to to put in the effort, to put in the work. What would you tell somebody they're asking that question? How can you help them?
The best thing that we always recommend is to get in the city and RP. You have to be in the city for a minimum of 3 months anyway before even being looked at. And just get in the city, RP, produce really good RP. Further, try to kind of enforce that message of bridging the gap and keep maintaining good relationships with public servants. And after that, GTA RP for some is the only game that they play, but you need to have some content that can be looked at, and we need to see how your system would perform, how you interact with the chat. Granted, you have some people talking. It's just there's a lot of stuff that goes into it to kind of gauge to see, is this going to be worth the investment?
Yeah.
To give access to all these resources and access to the community, And the one thing about the community for TARP is just it's so tight knit, and anybody, literally anybody that comes aboard the stream team, they're getting shouted out by the other streamers. We make a point to raid the newest person to kind of get them on the community's radar.
Right.
And the community just showers them with love.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a wonderful thing to watch. And because of that, we gotta safeguard it. So my advice would be just get in the city, produce good RP, make connections, and just go from there and try to get some content in here and there.
Yeah.
Really. And make it good content.
Yeah. No, I think so. Do you think, is there any place, and I'll ask this question, is there any place to record, obviously you can't stream content, but to record content as if you were streaming? Is there any value in that?
That's a good way to let us see your RP and how you interact via RP. But it's always a good idea to have some kind of actual live produced content interacting with people coming in talking to you for us to kind of gauge it, So it's good to have that as a source, but it's not the best for that to be your only form of content.
Sure. Okay. All right. No, I think that's great information, and I think because it is obviously there are a lot of people that want to stream, that do stream, want to stream, and would love to stream, in a community, and so I think that's good information for to set realistic expectations, but also here's the steps, here's how that process works, and then they can then they start working through that process, and there's no promises, there's no guarantees, but maybe there's always a maybe.
And even with that, say we do bring people on, it's going to be a very slow process and very limited amount at a time. That way we can kind of focus our attention on our new people and make sure that they're going good and they're right. And then, later down the road, we can look about bringing on more. But we try to make sure that everybody who comes in has the appropriate amount of attention that they need and access to resources.
Yeah.
So we don't want to kind of overextend ourselves.
Yeah, I got you. Well, hey, from me, and obviously I'm one person, but man, I appreciate what you do for that area. You're a great resource. You're a great cheerleader, a great support system, and so for me, I just say, man, I appreciate you and thank you for what you do.
I appreciate the opportunity to do it, man. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's streaming. That's overseeing the stream as a whole, but you also obviously are a streamer, and so you get into that. What do you love about that, man? What kind of got you into streaming?
Man, exactly what got me into streaming itself, I can't remember, dude. It was like 3 years ago, and I finally just started kind of like watching Twitch, and I was like, hey, that looks pretty cool. I'll try it. And I did what everybody did. I tried Call of Duty, didn't work out, and I quit for a while, and then I started getting into RP, and it's so easy, so much easier to stream. It's really entertaining. So I got back into streaming then, and ever since then, man, it's just I can't go without it. Like the connections that you make with the community that comes into your stream is just so authentic if you put the effort into it. And like I've got my mod team, like they're like my biggest fans, and I love it. And I love them all to death. And then the people who come into the chat, I mean, they're in there every day, asking how you doing, how's your day been, talking with me, and it's more than just viewers; they're your friends, and I really enjoy making that connection with people.
Yeah, no, it is, and there is a I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. It's almost like this addiction is such a bad word. There's this draw. I think that's a great word. There is this draw to connect and to when you build community to connect with them, and so there's this draw and this connection for that to take place.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing, man. Really, it is.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's good to have like that constant support system. People showing up day in, day out just to support you. It's a really good feeling. It really is, and it keeps you coming back.
No,
if you appreciate it. Now, I mean, I've seen some people who don't appreciate it, and I don't see how they have what they got. But if you appreciate it and really interact with it and let them know that you appreciate it, man, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Just the feeling of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. All right. So that's two things. So you are, well, no, that's three things. So you're in law, BCSO, you are stream team lead, you stream, but you also do some development stuff.
Here and there.
Here and there.
Here and there.
How did you get into that part of it? Was that like something that you knew how to do, or you were just like, I might be interested in something like that?
It's all Trav, honestly. Trav, are you familiar with Wolf inside the city? He's in BCSO.
Yeah.
Trav, Wolf, and I, and two other people. We before we came to TARP, we tried to start our own server, and it didn't pan out. But in that time, we all had to learn a little bit of development stuff, and Trav just really, really took to it well.
Okay.
But he got into the livery stuff, and I was really impressed with what he was doing. And he just showed me one day, and he had to show me a few more days after that because I'm a very slow learner with stuff like that, and just gradually just tinkering around with Photoshop, man, and just got into it. I'm not good by any means. Like, I'm not going to consider myself like a developer full-fledged, but I mean, liveries and stuff, I mean, it's a good thing to pass the time, and Trav just really did well at showing me how to do it.
Okay.
So anything involving development that I've ever done, I give full credit to Trav.
So you said this a second ago. Except for the SAFR, all of the helicopters liveries that are currently in the city, you created those.
Correct.
So, all right, tell me this, because I don't know anything about development. Like, I know zero about that. Is that a process where it's a template and like stickers and you're piecing them together? Or are you having to go in and draw those things? Like, just really quickly for a very simple-minded person like me, what is that process like?
Well, when you're making a livery, typically the person who sells the model of the thing that you're putting in the server, like the helicopter. They'll send you a template based on like I don't know exactly how to word it, and Trav will probably be able to tell you a lot better than I could. But they'll send you a template for how things are going to line up, and you do your design based on that. So with the helicopters, you don't hand draw it. Photoshop has a lot of tools to do your shapes and your designs and your words and all that, and you just go in there and throw it all together. Honestly, to simply put it, it's kind of like just paint on computer with shapes and stuff, and you just bend it, curve it, and do what you got to do to make it look good.
Okay.
And like I said, it's a learning curve for real. It really is. But I mean, I keep giving Trav a lot of praise, but he's a really good teacher. I will say that.
Awesome. Now, did you have any role? So I know you said you dabble in the development side. Did you have any role in the 3.0 launch? Did you have any help inside of any of the development with that stuff?
I didn't have anything to do with 3.0. I'm not going to take any credit for it. I was a good cheerleader when I could be, but as far as, I mean, I tested a few things, but I didn't really make anything, so I can't take any credit for 3.0.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And it is the 3.0 has been really good. I
it's phenomenal.
It's been just a great update. It's made the city just that much crisper, that much nicer to be a part of.
Yeah, the dev team really outdid themselves. I'm so impressed with how it's been going. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's going to be kinks and stuff. I mean, that's with anything, but they're handling it well, very well. So I mean, shout out to the dev team, 100%.
No, I agree. Shout out to them indeed, and they've done a wonderful job. All right, so tell me this. Obviously, you've been around. You've had a lot of things that have been going on as far as what you're involved in. You obviously have seen some stuff. You've been a part of some funny scenarios, things that have cracked you up, whether it's something on stream or maybe something off stream. I don't know about you, but sometimes some of the craziest stuff happens off stream, and you're like, dang it, I wish I was streaming when that happened. Yep. Do you got any stories for us, man? Anything you could think of that like you found yourself in that just completely cracked you up?
Well, I mean, it's not too funny, but I mean, I got shot and killed 3 times yesterday off stream, so that was nice. Honestly, the one that really stands out to me just happened recently, and it's with Stark, Officer Ajax. I think he's doing his thing now, but he was streaming at the time, and I was in the Mustang, he was on the motorcycle, and we were going down the highway. And Stark's got this little thing on his streaming or his mic software that kind of does that noise when you're like talking. So he was talking a whole bunch of stuff, and he looked at me and said, "Hey, slow the down." And it was funny. I was laughing and he wasn't paying attention, and he smacked into a truck and trailer and went nose first over the bike after he just told me to slow down. And man, my ribs were hurting laughing, dude. My ribs are hurting laughing. The one other thing that stood out to me, and I was actually streaming for this one, it was me and Nikki, or Ashley, as everybody knows her, and we got a call that there was a cow in the road.
I remember this. There
was a cow in the road, and I didn't know what to think. And it was in the city. I was county at the time, and I was like, I'm going to this. I don't care if I got called. I'm going to take a look at this. And sure enough, there's a cow on the road. Don't know what to do with it. And this man, I think it was Kale, but this man is just talking to this cow like it's a redheaded stepchild. Man, he has had enough, and the interaction was just so funny, so funny. I was laughing the entire time. I could not hold my composure. To like when I'm streaming, I try to hold my composure as much as I can. I'm a very easy person to make laugh. Like I have a very vast sense of humor, I guess would be the best word for it. But man, I could not hold my composure for that. Just the way he was talking to that cow was so funny.
I remember seeing that. I think I saw it as a TikTok.
Yeah, it's on my page.
Is where I saw it, and it was man, it was hilarious.
man, I didn't. I was that at that point, I didn't know how to handle that. At that point, I just went along for the ride, man, and
Yeah.
it was so funny,
Yeah.
so funny.
No, that's good, man. I love that. And you know, you find yourself in those funny moments, and that is part of the, you know, that is part of the joy of the community, or those kind of little things where you're just like, I,
You don't know what to do.
what are you gonna do here?
You rock along with it. You just
Yeah.
I hope this works out. You know,
That's why I think car crashes are so funny, because like, you know, you
especially when you get ejected, man. That stuff is never. That will always be funny. I don't care who it
yeah.
is. It is always funny if you get ejected.
No, absolutely. And it doesn't matter how many times it happens, it's funny every single time it happens. Especially
Yeah.
when it's, you know, unintentional, it's completely accidental. It's just funny.
It's funny you mentioned that. I don't know if Shay's in the chat right now, but she will vouch for this. She and I were riding down the road, and she's a horrible driver. Horrible driver.
Okay.
And she had a wreck, and it launched me out of the vehicle. It was launched me into a building that had these like little I can't think of it, but there was something like protruding out of the building, and it launched me into the building, and I landed on that thing. Like I was stuck halfway up the building. The fire department had to bring out a ladder truck to get me down, and it was just I didn't know whether to be mad at my luck or
Yeah.
just laugh at the whole situation. Man, it was funny. It was really
Yeah,
funny.
that's good. That's good. Uh, the guy in the chat said, we're talking about being funny when crashing. He said, it's not funny when you're alone at 4 a.m.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be driving reckless at 4 a.m. anyway, man. That's
Yeah,
on you.
that's so true. That's exactly right. All right. Hey, let's get to some questions, man. I've had several things come over the chat and things
Okay.
that people have brought up, and I wanted to kind of get into them with you. If you have a question for MotherFluffer, put it in the chat. Let us ask it and get into it. The first one is this. Ricky asked, and I saw this a little bit earlier. I'm glad he brought it back up because I didn't want to have to scroll back up to the chat and find it. So thank you for asking it again. He said, ask him about the first time he ever flew with me.
There wasn't no flying. There was falling. That's what it was.
Okay.
Man, it was. I just got into air wing, man, and Ricky was over air wing at the time, and I was nervous. I was so nervous. I didn't know what for, but I was just a co-pilot, and I was in there, and I forgot to buckle up, man. And we're over Polito, and I jumped out at the worst possible time, and I fell to my death. No sooner than I hit the ground, we get a ping for a bank robbery,
Oh,
and
no.
it's just Ricky up there, so he's doing what he can. I'm messaging him saying, "Hey, bro, I'm dead. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I don't know if it was a glitch or not." And he said, "Yeah, I'll get to you when I can." And I'm just laying there dead, man. It was it's my
He
first
said,
time,
I'll get to
literally
you.
my very first time in the air.
That's funny. I'll get to
Yeah,
you when I can.
pretty much.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. And
Yeah,
that's on
man.
brand for Ricky. I think that's totally on brand. Like, yeah, bro, I get you. I get you, bro. Just give me a
Yeah,
minute.
that's 100% Ricky. I'll get you when I can.
No, that's great. That's on brand. I love that. All right. Dilly asks, is stretching required when crossing the interstate?
If you don't want to get hit. If you don't want to get hit. It was me and Nikki. When I was at LSPD, she and I rode around all the time. But we were sitting in the middle of the freeway right at Route 13 station, and Dilly pulled up. I didn't know who it was. I was new to LSPD. And he was about to run across the road, and we just screamed at him to stop. And we said, "You got to stretch first." And this man did the stretch emote and then ran across and almost got hit. It was funny. It was a lot of funny.
That's funny. Dilly does a great job, and he does a really
Man,
good job in the city. He
man,
cracks me up all the time.
Carl is hilarious.
He's
Absolutely hilarious.
he is hilarious. He does a
Him
really good
and
job.
him and Greg, they blend like Tony and Hammer, dude. Like they
Yeah,
just bounce off of one another, and
yeah,
it is so comical to be around.
yeah. No, they do a good job. All right. Matt asks. He said, ask him about his new hat. You got a new hat? You need to tell us about.
All right, let me tell you a story about this hat.
Okay, all right.
Before I show you that, I'm not putting it on. I don't care how much they ask. I'm not putting it on. All right, so Michaela was streaming one day, and she needed somebody to raid. She wanted to raid me. I was in the process of eating dinner, right? And I drink milk with my dinner every single night. That's
Okay.
what I drink. Okay?
Okay.
And I was eating steak at the time, right?
Okay. So this is
So
another question. I didn't ask it, but this is another question. So go ahead.
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Does milk go with steak? Anyway, so I rushed, come back to get my stream going, and I come on the camera eating a. It was a little mini steak, so it wasn't like a full size steak.
Yeah.
I had a steak in one hand and a glass of milk in the other, and I have not heard the end of it yet. And some my mods just went with it, and Matt, the one who asked about it, sent me a link to a bull hat that it's a cow, but it's got a horn, so it's a bull. Sent me a link to it, and I said, "All right, if I hit 2,700 followers, I'll order it, and then if I hit 2,800, I'll wear it on stream." And I wound up having to wear this hat on stream. And the other night, some a trucker or something, I forget his username, but he came in and dropped a load of subs right at the end of September, man, and I had to wear the hat again.
Oh
So
man.
I wear that hat on special occasions just to
Okay.
embarrass myself.
Yeah.
But man, it's I will never hear the end of that ever.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just pointing this out. This seems like a very special occasion. I'm just saying. I don't know if it is or not, but it just feels like one. You know what I mean?
I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Hang on.
That's so great. Oh, that's so funny. I love that. Somebody said, yeah, notice you chose water tonight.
Yeah, well, I have Sprite in the refrigerator, but the water's closer.
Yeah,
I can't drink anything, man. I literally cannot drink anything without getting joked on whatsoever.
Well, hey, that's what happens when you're a legend like that. They're just trying to bring you down. You know what I mean?
Well, they do a really good job. They do a phenomenal job.
Does the hat have a name? Have we named the hat?
Mm-mm. We can name it right now. It does not have a name.
What do we think? What do we think? What do you think the name should be? Like
Mm-mm.
Bessie? Um,
It could be Bessie because the time that I interacted with that cow, his name was Bessie.
okay,
It could be Bessie.
it could be Bessie. What do y'all think about that, chat? Do we like it? Timmer says Pablo. Um, Sliver says Moother Fluffer. That's gotta win.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think everybody's going with Bessie. Pablo's funny, but I think everybody's going with Bessie.
I like Pablo. I love Moother Fluffer. That's
Ooh, there's Fluffer. That is pretty funny.
That's great. That's great. That's got to be like it's definitely his nickname or something. Or when you wear it, that's how it, my name's Moother Fluffer.
I'm not doing that. Brother, if this is on my head, I'm already embarrassed enough. I don't need to add to it. Okay?
Yeah, no, I think it'd be great.
I don't need to add to it.
I think that would be great. Okay, everybody, a lot of people Bessie, Bessie. Bessie, maybe, yeah. I'm still in the Moother Fluffer camp.
Man, that's a good one. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good one.
But we'll have to see if anything changes. But Bessie seems like the way to go with that.
Yeah, we'll call her Bessie.
That's so hilarious.
I mean, it's a bull, but we'll call it Bessie.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so let me ask this question, and we'll kind of start wrapping up here with you. I appreciate all the time you've given us, man. I don't want to take up
No, you're good.
More than you want to. Let me ask this. We've talked a lot about RP. We've talked a lot about different interactions. In your words, what makes good RP happen? And what would be something that, like, maybe somebody is new to the community. They've wandered in here somehow. Slivers was so generous to give a raid. Hammer was so generous to raid our channel. Somebody wandered in here, and they're like, yo, I wanna improve RP. In your words, what makes good RP, and how can someone that wants to raise their level of RP do that?
I'd say just take it seriously, honestly. I mean, yeah, it is a game, but RP versus any other game is a little different. Like you got to really get into it and take it seriously and kind of develop a character, like Hammer is so good at doing.
Yeah.
Like his characters have backstories, and they have personalities. I mean, you can let it be like a little creation of yourself, but just really get into it and take it seriously. That's the best thing I can recommend is just take it seriously. Um, I mean, you can joke around, but the best RP I've seen has come from people who take it serious. Like Karen in the city, who's becoming really popular,
Yeah.
takes their RP so serious. And I really admire it because, they play that character so well and they take it seriously. So, I mean, just put your all into it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I can recommend.
Okay. So let me ask a follow up, and I just want to dig a little bit deeper because I think what you're saying is absolutely right. But when you say take it serious, you're meaning essentially, man, go go all in with your character. Give it a story, give it a history, give it some purpose. It's not just a guy in a game. It's not just a character in a game, but it has a story to tell. What is that story? Am I saying that right? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
No, you got it right. Just add some depth to it, Don't let it be just face value. This is who I am. I don't really add a lot of depth to it. Just put some thought into it. Add some depth and make it an actual thing, It's not just a character I play in a game, it's somebody that's a part of me as a
yeah,
person.
yeah. And I think that's important in the sense of really developing a character. I remember when we interviewed Hammer, one of the things he said that I have thought about since then was every time you get in the city, how can you progress that character one more step? Like, how can their story develop one more time every time you get in the city? And I always thought, man, when he said that, I thought that's really good advice for
Mm-hmm.
people that really want to develop RP. Now, obviously, we've got some that they just want to come in, run and gun, but people that really want to RP and develop that side of it, man, I think that's great advice.
Yeah. I mean, just any way to improve, and as long as you're actively seeking it out, you'll find it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So, I mean, just as long as you actually care about it, I think you'll find what you're looking for. If you're wanting to improve, that is. Now, if you don't want to improve, you're not going to find the improvement.
no, that's 100%.
So,
And I think it's okay to try and it not work out and scrap it and do something else.
yeah, man, I've had characters in the past that just I didn't really click with, And it's really about developing a character that you can click with and you can do easily, in my opinion, anyway. And there's just some characters that was a good idea up front, but when you're actually putting it into action, you just realize that this ain't me. I can't really play this character well, and you move on to the next.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
No,
mean, you just find something that is easy for you to develop and do well at.
I think that's great. I think that was very well said, and I think, in my opinion, you hit the nail on the head with that. I think that's definitely uh, good advice, good way to continue to grow and develop, um, and increase value because good RP increases value of our community.
Mm-hmm.
When you figure out a way to do good RP, it raises the level. We're only as good as our lowest level. So when you develop, you raise that level. And when the next person develops, they raise the level. And if everybody is doing that, then the level of our community raises. And it's not one person's responsibility, it's all of our responsibility to do that.
Yep, I agree. Set the example, and that way the example can be passed along. And you know what expectations you have
Yeah.
as far as RP goes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Very good. All right. Let's end with this thought, man. Give me your spiel to somebody you run into them somewhere, you know, in a grocery store. You run into somebody in a Discord conversation and they are talking about the community. What's this TARP thing? Why, you know, I'm interested in being a part of something. I don't know what, somebody's in an RP server. They're looking for maybe something different. They're not digging what's happening where they are. What's your spiel to them? In your words, explain what TARP is and why it's such a special place?
I mean, it's kind of like on the same principle as what everybody else has said. TARP is more than just an RP server. It's really a big family. And if you want to join somewhere that you'll make real connections with real people, TARP is the place to be.
Yeah.
Since I've joined TARP, I've made so many lifelong friends, I feel, that I don't think I would have made in any other RP server. A lot of people just take RP for what it is. It's just RP, but, TARP, it goes beyond that. So just if you want real connections through RP, I think TARP is the place to be.
Yeah. No, I agree, and it is a community, and I know that we say that, and I know that a lot of times people say, "Well, I'm just saying what's already been said," but I think what happens is every time you say it, it gives even more validity to the fact that that is a very real thing. It is a very true
Yeah.
thing because if everybody is saying the same thing and it is their words, it is their opinion, there's got to be some validity to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what you do is you just speak back, and once again you prove the point and reiterate what we all know is true, and most of the people in this chat know is true. Is it is a community, it is a connecting point, and it's a really good one.
Oh yeah. I would not trade it for anything, man. It's really a special place.
Yeah,
It really is.
no, absolutely. And man, man, speaking of special, man, it has been a special opportunity for me to have you jump on here with me. I
I enjoyed it.
appreciate it so much. I appreciate you taking the time coming in and just talking about all things TARP, the things that you're involved in. I think you lending your voice in just some of those areas is it's important, and so I appreciate it. And I've just enjoyed the conversation, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been real fun. I appreciate you having me.
No, absolutely. And man, if you need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. And I look forward to seeing you in the city.
Same goes for you, brother.
All right, buddy. Have a good one, sir.
You too, man.
All right. Thank you, bud.